Tomorrow, fired NOPD detective Chad Cockerham goes before the Civil Service Commission trying to get his job back.
Yesterday, WWL chief investigative reporter David Hammer questioned Cockerham about a payroll fraud investigation. And tonight, David asks the detective about charges of dishonesty that got him fired and tie back to former Mayor LaToya Cantrell.
Detective Chad Cockerham had been under criminal investigation for alleged payroll fraud for almost 2 years when NOPD Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick fired him this March. Not for making $157,000 in overtime, more than double his base pay. Not for claiming to work 100 hours a week for an entire year with just 4 days off. Not for logging thousands of hours in overtime while he was at home, an hour outside New Orleans. Not for claiming 16-hour days while traveling to away Saints games or while taking family cruises to Cozumel. And not for using his supervisor's login credentials to file his timesheets. Cockerham says he legitimately did all those things with his supervisor's blessing.
It's actually almost a crime to be on this job, to be a hard worker, because the hard workers are the ones that are being scrutinized at this point.
When Chief Kirkpatrick fired Cockerham, she acknowledged he was under criminal investigation for payroll fraud, something he's not been charged with. Instead, the chief wrote that she was firing him because of an anonymous complaint filed from a computer traced to his house. A complaint that alleged cheating on the NOPD's promotion exams for captains and majors. First, Cockerham denied filing the complaint. Then he said it could have been another officer visiting his house. Then it could have been a family member. The chief wrote to Cockerham she was firing him because, quote, it was evident you had lied.
They say that I gave a false statement during the captains and majors investigation. Well, that was strange to me because I never was told I was a witness, and I wasn't eligible to take the test.
This Friday, Cockerham plans to go in front of a civil service hearing officer to appeal his firing, and he's bringing his wife to testify.
I went home and got with the members of my family to ask, who filed the complaint. My wife was like, well, this was an anonymous complaint, which is protected. I filed this complaint because the complaint needed to be filed because of all the information that I was hearing and the superintendent stating, if you see something, say something.
But if you didn't have any interest in this cheating scandal, why would your wife have had interest in it?
Well, again, my wife comes into contact with a lot of law enforcement, and every person that she talked to said, we do not go and report this kind of information because we don't want to be retaliated against. If we go and report this, we will be targeted. And that is why my wife took it upon herself to file the anonymous complaint. But again, this is protected activity. The anonymous complainant should not be unmasked, because you got to ask yourself, Mr. Hammer, what is your motive for uncovering who the source of a complaint is? The only motive that you have at that point is retaliation.
Cockerham says the investigation stems from rumors he used his position on an FBI task force to help feed information to then-Mayor LaToya Cantrell while the feds were investigating her, leading to criminal fraud and obstruction charges against Cantrell and her former NOPD bodyguard, Jeffrey Vappy. Cockerham insists he didn't give Cantrell intel on Ann Bro, the French Quarter resident who snapped this now infamous photo of her and Vappy.
It was always said that I was connected to the mayor. This was information that was being pushed out by the upper management of the police department.
Is that not true?
It's not true. I mean, I dealt with the mayor in my professional duties as a police officer, but that's the only thing that I had in common with with the mayor.
Do you deny that you did any kind of NCIC search on Ann Bro that may have been used by Mayor Cantrell?
I didn't do any NCIC requests on Ann Bro. All my NCIC requests go straight through the FBI Ops Center. Everything is an audit trail. Every email of every request that I make goes straight through the FBI.
This whole bizarre case is far from over, and more could come out at the Civil Service hearing Friday. David Hammer, WWL, Louisiana.
The Inspector General announced today that his payroll fraud investigations have helped NOPD cut overtime costs by almost half, from $18 million in the first 6 months of 2025 to $9.6 million so far this year.